Oh, this is gonna be my last video for the day, I do believe. But and sometimes I'll shoot more than one or whatever, just talking about stuff, making myself try to feel better and everything. But the thing that I got sidetracked from earlier, that I was trying to talk about we have bus where I used to work. We had buses, and people from rehabs would get off there and wait for the homeless shelter to come pick them up, which of course they wouldn't, for as far as I understand, and they had to find their own way from our uh, establishment to their destination. And anyways, uh, this one night, it was after I actually quit, and I went over because I'm not too far and everything, and I went over and I ate there that night and got me something to eat. And dang on, I'm sorry, boy. I just stressed her out really bad. I knocked her paw down because she placed it on me, and she just let out this huge sigh, like, really? But I just felt really compelled to tell that guy for some reason. It's like I just felt really compelled to tell him, you know, you're gonna relapse 3 times, but God's gonna forgive you. And so, whenever you relapse, don't take it too hard on yourself. And I don't even know where the hell that came from. Like, it just hit me like, he sat near me, and I knew he was from the rehab, and I was just like, why do they always sit near me? You know, because they do, or they did. And I was just like, what is the deal with this? And I was like, yes, God, I know that I dated somebody, and had a kid with somebody that, they used meth and probably other drugs and stuff. And I was like, but I don't recall anything dealing with it except for, um, like, just that they would act different. Baby doll. I took a nap, and so they was in the cage, and so she's glad to be out. And she's wanting love. But, maybe this dog has got me through so much of the bullshit that's going on because of this action right here, hugging me. Or at least I call it a hug. Yeah. Oh, and I got to thinking about my other dog that's missing and about how shady it is because where I live, there's a lot of people that hang out all the time and stuff. And there's, I guess you'd say, 3 or 4 businesses that are very close by. And so it's like somebody had to have seen something. Somebody had to have seen my damn dog, and nobody's gave a shit to tell me where the hell he's at. And I'm just like, you assholes. But, I mean, I had 2 people tell me that they spotted him. And I was like, okay, and they're like, yeah, he's down here. And I went and looked, and I didn't find him. And I gave my phone number to these people and told them to call me if they seen him. But that was like 3 weeks ago. So I don't know where my other dog's at. Sounds like my damn father's motorcycle. Better not be. Oh, that's another thing too. What was it? 5 weeks ago? 5 weeks ago, I think, or maybe 6 or 7. I was going to work, and when I was going to work, my dad rode up behind me on his bike, and I was just like, you bastard, like, you'll come and spy on me. And I mean, it was right when I was going to work, so you can't tell me that it wasn't planned out. And that's just like the girl and her dad, the girl that I'm in love with, coming in whenever she did. you can't tell me that that wasn't planned out. Like, but anyways, I felt really compelled, like, to talk to that guy and tell him, like, I was sitting there eating. He come in, he sat down, he had his buddy with him. Usually there's more than one. There's like 2 or 3 or whatever. And this night in particular, we had 4 there. Or, well, they did, because I didn't work there anymore, but they had 4. And this guy sat just a table away from me, and I was like, Lord, he's gonna ask to use my phone, or he just feels more comfortable around me. And I was like, thank God that he does, or that they do, out of all the seats in here. I was like, I'm glad I do that for people, but I don't understand why I do that for people. Like, and I don't mean it like I do it, like, it's something that I, but it's just what happens, and it's what's happened. And I mean, I'm just like, why? And I'm like, so I'm like thinking to myself, and I'm like, God, I know that I dated somebody that was, ended up being a drug addict, and they've been in rehab, but I've not talked to them when they've been struggling and throughout their rehab and they're this and that. I tried to be supportive, and I tried to be like, dude, I care about you. I can talk to you. You can talk to me. If you need, somebody to talk to in the middle of the night, we have a kid together, dude. If you are sitting there panicking, or whatever, and you're trying to keep from falling back and slipping back, I was like, you can call me, And he never took me up on the offer in 10 fucking years. Never. Not once. And I was just like, wow, you don't even give me the opportunity to try to help you, And it's like, I remember when we were still dating and he had got out of prison, and one of the reasons he was in prison was because of child support, but was because of drugs too. Dang on. He called me one day and he's like, yeah, I'm fixing to get arrested again. And I'm like, really? Why? What did you do this time? What happened? And he's like, oh, I just can't make it to the child support office, and so they're going to put a bench warrant out on me because I'm not paying child support, and so I'm fixing to get arrested. I'm just letting you know. I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, well, let me see if I can get you a ride. I said, let me see if I can get you a ride. Let me see what I can do. And he's like, no, I ain't worried about it. It is what it is, And I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm dating you. This is what you're claiming the problem is. Let me help you fix the fucking problem. And more than likely, he was just lying to me. He was else cheating and didn't want me to know about it. Like, he was fixing to have, because what it was is like, I was calling, I think, to tell him I was coming over or whatever, and like, or some shit. And so, like, he was like, oh, like, oh, I don't even have a ride to get to child support, so how am I going to come pick you up? That's what it was, or something like that. And so I was like, let me go in here and beg, and see if we can come and get you and take you to go pay your child support. And he's like, no, don't do it, and I'm like, no, and I'm like, we're going to do it, And so I get off the phone with him. I, like, hung up on his ass. And I go to try to ask, and as I'm walking back in, because I was out in the yard, like, doing yard work on the phone, as I'm walking back in, he calls again, and he's like, well, let me call this one last person, and let me see if they'll take me. And I was like, all right. And I was like, are you sure? I said, because you want to sit there and you want to tell me you ain't got a fucking ride. I said, so I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to get you a fucking ride. I'm trying to make sure that you're not going to go to jail again, that you're not going to go to prison again, because I love you. I care about you. If I didn't, I wouldn't be in a fucking relationship with you. I was like, so it is what it is. Are you legit? And he's like, yeah, I'm legit and everything. And I was like, okay. And then he called me back a few minutes later, and he's like, well, they said that they'll think about it. They're on their way, like, this direction, but they said that they'll think about it, or some shit like that. And I was just like, well, they better fucking take you, I said, or better yet, I said, if they don't, I said, we'll still take you even if it's fucking late. And he's like, he was kind of like, damn, like, you really want to make sure? And I was like, yeah. You dumbass. I was like, I want to make sure you don't go to fucking jail again, And I was like, listen, I said, if they don't come and pick you up and we show up and even you're late to have your appointment with the parole officer and pay your child support, I said, I don't give a shit if you're late or not. I said, I will manhandle your ass and drag your ass inside the fucking car, and we're going to go up there and we're going to talk to them and tell them what the fuck happened. And tell them that you didn't have a ride and at least you tried, and that they shouldn't, and that you're here and you can still pay your child support. It shouldn't put a damper on you paying your child support. It's just you're going to miss your appointment time, and they shouldn't put a fucking bench warrant out on you for missing your fucking appointment time. Now, whether all this is even legit or not, I have no idea, but this is what I was under the influence of believing based upon what he was telling me. And I just remember, he got real silent, kind of like almost like, damn, and I just let him have it. I was like, I will drag your ass inside the fucking car, kicking and screaming if I got to get you where the fuck you need to go to get your damn shit done. I was like, 'cause, no, you're not gonna sit there, And, so anyways, dang on, like I said, the people that, get off the bus for the rehab, they've always drawn to me. They've always sat close to me. They always see me as somebody that they can ask, hey, can I use your phone to make a phone call, and they end up calling cabs or friends or whatever, trying to get a ride to the shelter. And, I treat them with just as much respect as I would anybody else. But at the same time, I'm not, completely naive and everything, and I know, and everything. But I try to treat everybody equal. I really legitimately do. I don't care your fucking race. I don't care your fucking skin color. I don't care anything like that. I don't care what you look like. I don't care if you got half your fucking face missing. I don't give a shit. Because we all have souls. And in that, we are all valuable. And we all stem from one source, whatever you want to call it. And I just believe in value. And I even believe in dogs and cats and all this having souls and everything. So if I'm going to treat a fucking puppy with some goddamn respect, or a damn grown-ass dog that gets hit by a fucking car, you best believe I'm going to treat a damn human with respect. But, any fucking ways. But the only thing that I talked to my friend about the other night or whatever, because we was just bullshitting and talking and stuff, and, for as far as dating, I usually only date white people. I have dated a black guy for 2 weeks when I was in middle school. My best friend, if you will, even though we have fallen out and I don't know what the damn deal is, but we always managed to be civil with each other and make up, I guess you'd say, or whatever. She's black, and we've been friends for 15 damn years, and I named her the godmother of my daughter. And then I dated 2 or 3 Hispanics for 2 or 3 weeks when I was I think 2 of them was in middle school, or 1 of them was, and then 2 in high school or some shit like that. But, and my dad will probably kill me if he ever sees this and hears about it, but I really don't give a shit. And I don't have nothing against them, but I was raised, in all honesty, where it's my grandmother has this saying where she says that God has a Sorry. I have really bad allergies, like I said. But God has what's called a helpmate for everybody. And shit. Stay up here. And even though it's not based upon race, I have seen the difference in races. And even though I know that there's black people that were raised by white people, and then there's black people that, their mama's white and their daddy's black, or their dad's white and their mom's black, or whatever, and stuff like that. there is a different way of lifestyle. But then again, that goes down to each individual, in all honesty. Because I can sit here and like say somebody white, or whatever, or predominantly white or whatever, that, they was raised like with the rich lifestyle, and so they look at me and they're like, God, she's just dumb as fuck, you know. And I might look at them and be like, boy, they're stuck up as shit, and stuff like that. But for as far as outside of race, it's like, yeah, certain groups, just even for as far as the way that they maintain their bodies, they have different grooming habits to a degree. To a degree. I'm not saying that they don't groom themselves. I'm not saying that at all. But they just have different grooming habits. They have different body chemistry. Each individual has different body chemistry, though. But theirs is more substantially different, I believe, for as far as race, than and stuff like that. I don't know, though. And even for as far as taste, like what they like to eat and stuff like that. And so I've just noticed that. And so I've never been one to date outside of my race, like regularly or whatever. It's like I did it once, or twice or whatever. And I was just like, I don't think this is for me. And that's just my choice, and that's what I'm living by at the moment and everything. But I have nothing against people of color. Like, I have nothing against anybody of any color, any nationality. You treat me good, I'll treat you good. You treat me with respect, I'll treat you with respect. You want to sit there and be a prick to me? No, it ain't gonna happen. You want to sit there and be a smart ass or be smug with me? Ain't gonna happen, Like, you gotta respect me. That's the biggest thing about me. But, back to the guys that are drug addicts over there and wanting to talk to me, and stuff. And, the way that people talk and everything, I'm like, do these people see me as gullible or something? Is that the reason that they talk to me? Well, I've wondered this shit about myself before. But there was almost like something that after about 5 minutes of us sitting there, not saying nothing to each other, and like I just looked over at him when he sat down, and I kept on eating. And then I looked back over at him at one point in time, and I was just kind of looking at him, and I was like, bless his heart, and I was like, reminds me of my kid's dad to a degree, and I was like, and he's all tatted up, and I was like, he just looks like he struggled, and then I was like, hell, everybody struggles. And it's like, he got up and walked away for a minute, and he come back and sat, but there was something that just was like, tell him he's going to relapse 3 times, but that he's going to be forgiven. That God's going to forgive him. God knows that he's trying his best, and that he's going to be forgiven. And I thought, who the hell am I to say that shit to him? And I thought, hell, he's going to slap the piss out of me if I go up to him and I'm like, hey, listen here, you're going to fuck up 3 more times and it's okay. Because I'm speaking that negativity over him. So I was like, no, I'm not speaking negativity over somebody I have no, and I was like, I ain't doing that. And it's like that feeling just come over me, and it stayed with me for like 5 minutes, and I was like telling it to shut up, if you will. And I was like, I'm not gonna go over here and be like, hey, God's put it on my heart, if you will, to tell you that he knows that you're struggling, and he knows that you're fixing to relapse again, and he knows that you're gonna relapse 3 more times before you get straight. And I was just like, who the fuck am I to say that? You've got to be kidding me. I'm nobody to say that to him. And I thought, he's going to smack the shit out of me if I say that to him. And I was like, I'm not saying that to him. And I had to like adamantly be like, no, I don't know where that's coming from. No, I'm not saying that to him. I'm not saying that to him, And I thought to myself, God, if that's you wanting me to say that to him or whatever, I thought, I'm not doing it. And if anything, I just hope and pray that he gets the message from somebody else if that's the message he's supposed to receive. And I thought, or I hope and pray, that in all honesty, he don't relapse and that you help him get straight this time around. And God, that's my prayer that I send up to heaven for him, And I hope you hear it, is that you help him get straight this time around. And, I thought, no, I'm not going to speak any type of negativity over his life. And then that kind of hit me hard because I was like, shit, I speak negativity over my own damn life. And I was like, fucking hell, Heather, and I was like, damn, And so I had that happen. And then my mind is so sporadic sometimes. And then, I had something else hit me. It was else that same night or day before or next day or whatever about telling somebody else something. And I was just like, oh, that's what it is. Now this is me or whatever. We're all human. We all make mistakes. We're all supposed to forgive. This is me. I had a falling out with a brand new neighbor because she lied. I don't want that type of negativity around me. And if I can cut it off, as soon as I can cut it off, then I can cut it off and it's done and that's the end of it. Because here I am, hurting, struggling. I trusted her with everything. I used to go over and talk to her all the time. And God put it upon my heart to go over and be like, just ignore it. Don't even mention it. And just be like, I'm sorry. And take the blame for it. And be like, I'm sorry for getting mad at you over you lying. And I was just like, oh, hell no. I ain't doing that. And I was like, God, if you got to kill me for my pride, I guess I'm going to be dead. Because there was no sense in the lie that she told. And she should have enough common sense to know that that was going to hurt me. Because I had talked to her adamantly and as honestly as I do on my YouTube and everything about how I'm about honesty, about how I'm about living in the now, about how even if your feelings change, then own up to that. If you love somebody one day and you hate them the next, own up to it. Don't sit there and bullshit about it. Don't sit there and be like, no, I still love you. I still, live in your feelings. Live in the moment. Live for what it is. But own up to it. And the thing is she said something about the maintenance people. And I had a falling out with the maintenance people. And I thought me and her were like a team, if you will. So I mentioned the one thing that she said about the maintenance people. And in my opinion, it wasn't even that bad. Even though the maintenance people, one of them just went ballistic on me, told me they hope that I never get my child back, that they're going to make sure I never get my child back, and that I'm never going to receive any blessings from God. And because I say, God damn it, and I was just like, and so I'm definitely done with them. And I've been done with them in all honesty, and that's the reason that all the dramas even started, is because they know I've been done with them. And I've been trying to not be, and kind of weigh things out, but they just put the damn fucking shit icing on the shit cake or what the fuck ever of my life. And I couldn't take it no more. And that's the reason I'm going to be moving whenever my lease is up. I can't take it no more. If I come in and I'm new to you and you're going to treat me like shit, and it's going to be under the belt, little sneaky, oh, I think I'm better than you, and I think I'm getting away with it, and I think you're naive, and I think you're stupid, and we're going to say this about, we ain't going to get along. Just end the subject. If you ever meet me, see me, and you ever do me that way, don't be surprised when I hate you. It's the best way to put it. And I know I'm not supposed to hate anybody, but if I'm going to go to hell for hating people, then I'm going to go to hell for hating people. And it's not actually that I fucking hate you. It's just I can't stand that shit. And I don't see how the hell you can stand it either. But anyways, so my new neighbor said this one thing about him. And so like I said, I thought, me and my new neighbor was getting along really well. And I was like, it's not just me that sees this. It's the new neighbor too that even sees something's not panning out the way that it's told. And I said, so this is what they said. So maintenance people went and told that to her, and then she had the fucking audacity to sit there and flip my whole life against me, if you will. To sit there and say, well, I'm sorry you feel that I said that, but I didn't say that. And you must be really sick to think that I've said that. And then God's going to put it upon my heart, supposedly, if it's God, which I'm doubting very seriously up under the circumstances of how hurt I was, that I'm supposed to go over and be like, hey, let's just sweep it up under the rug and forgive the situation. I'm sorry. Ain't happening. Unless I know what the damn prize is, and the prize is something worth fucking having, if you will, I ain't doing it. You can call it a Leo's pride, you can call it what the fuck ever you want to, but it ain't happening. I ain't doing it. And see, the thing is I gave her some stuff, and I helped her out a lot, like moving stuff in her apartment and stuff, because like I said, she's a new neighbor. And I gave her some stuff, and just this past week, she threw it outside. And you gonna tell me that I'm supposed to go and take the, not the blame, but just sweep it up under the rug and be all forgiving and be on my moral superiority high horse of like, oh, well, I'll forgive you, and you can pretend that you forgave me, and we'll pretend that we're both, just such bigger people to forgive without even talking about it, and, call me petty if you want to. I don't give a shit. I want to fucking talk about it. Because if we can't talk about it, then you ain't learned your goddamn lesson. That's all there is to it. That's just like me going to fucking court and the judge being like, did you do that? Yes. Did you say this? Yes. Did you do this? Yes. It is what it is. And I actually had overcame the situation, Mom and Dad, because the situation that I think you got her on, that you got temporary custody of my daughter on, it happened in fucking October. And you took my kid in December. 2 damn months later. The shit's in the past. Boy, that's a pot calling the kettle black right there. Dad, I'm supposed to forgive you for the shit that you did in the past, right? Mom, I'm supposed to forgive you for the shit that you did in the past, right? I'm supposed to move on and live in the now. Well, that's what the fuck I was trying to do. And y'all took my damn kid from me. Man, that high horse got some damn, I don't know, flamingo fucking legs or some shit up in there. Like, hell no. Hell no. Ain't happening. So, you stay up on that high horse if you want, and I'll let God knock your ass down, Like, if I'm on... That's one thing about a Leo, I do believe. And I do believe it's a Leo trait. But then again, it might just be a trait of me. If I'm going down, I'm taking your ass with me. The thing is, I usually don't go down. When I go down, it'll be like when I'm dead. So when I'm dead, we all dying. Like, that's the way I feel or some shit, And I'm not going to manipulate it, though. I'm not going to sit there and, manipulate the hell out of a situation to make sure you go down with me. No. Just like, what is it? Oh, I was trying to think of a comedian I was watching earlier. George Carlin. Is that right? Yeah. George Carlin. Woo-hoo. Talking about dumb Americans. I ain't even gotta do shit. That's how sad it is. I ain't even gotta do shit. I can watch you destroy your damn self. I ain't gotta do a damn thing. But, it's just crazy. Whew, just crazy. But anyways, I don't know what the hell come over me about, talking to that guy and about, supposedly, trying to apologize or whatever. Or not apologize, because like I said, the only thing I would have to apologize for is being like, hey, I told them what you actually said behind their backs. when you said it behind their back, so I guess I should have been a better friend and not have said it to their face because you said it behind their back to me in secrecy. I'm sorry if you want to live in secrecy, but I don't. I really don't. To a degree, I would like to, in all honesty, and by that I mean just privacy-wise, I would like to have privacy. I done been taught. My privacy is, very, what's the fucking word? I don't even know. It just barely exists. Like, with the way my family is, privacy, Lord. My mama actually asked me when she found out I was having sex. And I still wonder sometimes, I ain't even gonna lie. I'm gonna go ahead and put this out here, and God forgive me for putting it out here. But I even wonder sometimes if she slept with my kid's dad, or if she tried to seduce him. Because she came to me and asked me after she found out I was having sex with him. And this was the first time she found out, when she told me to stop. And the thing is she found out even before then, because there was an issue just within a couple months of us being together. We were trying to get some condoms, and we was trying to get to a store, and he didn't have a car at the time, or whatever. Or no, I take it back, he had a car. But because I'd never used condoms, I didn't, and I'd heard people have allergic reactions, and since I have really bad allergies, I asked my sister what kind her and her boyfriend used. So that way I wouldn't have an allergic reaction, so that way then I wouldn't have to try to scheme a way to get to the damn doctor if I had an allergic reaction. And instead of my sister being someone I could have confided in, like I said, privacy has not existed in my life. Instead of her being someone I could have confided in, her and her boyfriend laughed that I asked, and then they went and told my mother. So my mother went and picked up my boyfriend when I was at the doctor's office one day. She dropped me off at the doctor's office, and I knew something was up because she just dropped me off at the doctor's office. And then she showed up and she had him in the car like an hour later, and I was like, oh shit, what the fuck? And she had asked him if he was having sex with me, and of course he denied it, or whatever. Just her doing that. Who the fuck does that? So, this is months later, though. But this was before my first pregnancy scare. This was after, though, she confronted me, or I realized all this situation, because what was it? She was supposed to drop me off at his house that afternoon after I got out of the doctor's office. And this was just an allergy doctor getting allergy shots. And she dropped me off in a panic, if you will. And I knew something wasn't right, and I was trying to ask her what the deal was. And she wouldn't fucking talk to me. And she just dropped me off and left me and said, I have errands to run. I'll be back to get you whenever I get here. And I was like, okay. And I was like, what the fuck's wrong with her? So then, like I said, she shows up with my damn boyfriend. And she drops us off at the mall because she's like, isn't that where y'all was going to go? Isn't that what y'all was going to do? Because originally that's what we were going to do. We were going to leave from his house later on when his ride got back, because they had the car, and we was going to go to the mall and hang out. And so she dropped us off at the mall. He was still in his fucking, leisure home clothes, because she just showed up, picked him up, and was like, get in the car, I need to talk to you, and drove off with him. I don't know what's going on. And she just drops us off at the mall. And he went ballistic on my ass in the fucking, mall. And I'm, crying my eyes out, embarrassed as fuck, angry as fuck, wishing my sister would fucking just kill herself, because that's how damn mad I am at her. hoping her boyfriend gets ran over and she gets a phone call and has to deal with that tragedy, because that's how fucking angry. Because I get angry and I have horrible thoughts that go through my head when I get angry. And I don't know anybody that don't, in all honesty. I know a lot that can't admit to it, but that's what went through my damn head. And I was just like, oh my God. And so I finally got him to calm down enough after like 30 minutes to an hour. And he's like pacing, running from me, if you will, in the damn mall, pacing ahead of me, just angrily walking. And I'm like chasing after him, fucking crying, trying to get him to talk to me. He won't even talk to me. And he's the one that had to tell me what happened, you know, because she didn't tell me shit. And dang on, he's like, I gotta call somebody to come pick me up. So he calls his grandmother to come pick him up because she's the only one there or whatever. And she shows up, and I'm like, you know, can I ride with you? You know, like, you know, shit, are you just gonna leave me abandoned up here and I'm gonna have to call my mom? And I'm crying and I'm upset. And he's like, yeah, you know, you can get in the car. And I remember I got in the car and I was crying the whole way. And his grandmother, bless her heart, and she used to be friends with my grandmother, so she's just talking to me the whole time, you know, just trying to get my mind off of it. She's like, so, you know, how you doing? And I was like, okay. And she's like, how has school been, you know? And I was like, it was all right, you know. And how's this, you know? And just trying to get my mind off of shit. And I remember I cried the whole way to his house, you know. And of course, whenever we got there, you know, I'm sorry, you know, and stuff. And I'm sorry, and I don't know what to say, and I can't believe my sister did that to me, you know. I can, but I can't, you know. The one time I tried to really confide in her, you know, I can't. And yet, I kept her first pregnancy hid from my own father for months because my mother told me to. Because when I went to my mother about it, my mother done knew. So my mother hid that from the whole family. Helped my sister hide that from the whole family. But then treated me that way over that situation. But, damn, I've just lived through some shitty ass hell. I've lived through some shitty ass hell. That's all there is to it. But, fuck, what else was I going to say about that whole situation? Oh, so she done knows I'm having sex. So then, a few weeks or months later is when I asked her, and I was like, hey, can you help me get some contraceptives? Can you help me get on birth control? They have free birth control at the clinic. All you gotta do is drive me down there, and I'll get it, you know. And she's like, no, I'm not paying for your habit. Okay. You know, that was the end of that. And so, of course, we kept being sexually active. And from that time to the time that I had a pregnancy scare, and that was a few months. I had a pregnancy scare about 2 months before I actually got pregnant. In between that time, one time she come and she picked me up. And we're in the car. And I'd noticed that my boyfriend was very nice talking to my mother, more than he ever had been. And it made me suspicious. I was like, what the hell's going on? And then I was like, well, maybe she just realizes that he actually loves me and I actually love him. And she's like, oh, they might actually make a good run as a couple. So that's what I tried to chalk it up to. But, like, he'd got strung out on some shit one night. Because it was cold weather. And I broke up with his ass. Because I just had it. And because we was one of those breakup makeup types. I broke up with his ass. And he called me. And, I mean, what was it? I don't even remember how the hell I broke up with his ass, like what it was about. I think it was he didn't come to a family function with me, a Christmas family function or something like that. And so it just pissed me off real bad because it's like, dude, I'm coming to your house. I'm hanging out with you. We're doing everything on your time. You're treating me like I'm nothing more than a fuck buddy. And here I am. I'm trying to legitimately be your girlfriend, build a relationship with you. And I'm trying to get you to come to a family function, you know. I think that's what it was that did it. And so I broke up with him. Well, he calls, you know, I don't know if it was the very next night. I want to say it was like 2 nights later. Like the middle of the night, or like about 12 o'clock, I think. And I think we were actually out shopping, me and my mom, because we used to kind of do that. But we were on our way home, I think, or fuck, maybe I don't know. All I know is he called and I answered it, and he was drunk as a coot, and he was telling me that he took a handful of pills and that he was fixing to kill himself, and it was because of me, you know, and he missed me, and he was so sorry, and he knows he shouldn't have treated me that way, and he knows that I deserve better, and this and that and everything. And so I freaked, and I called my grandmother because she lived in the same apartment complex as him at the time. Because I asked my mom, like, I was in the car already, and I was like, you know, I was like, holy shit, you know, I was like, he don't want me to call the ambulance, what do I do? And my mom said to me, she said, call Granny and have your granny go check on him. And I was like, Granny ain't gonna get out of the house, you know, and go check on him. And I was like, but I'll call her anyway, you know, I'm desperate. So I call my grandmother, and she answers the phone, and she's like, tell him to drink milk. Tell him to drink milk and he'll throw up everything, you know. And I was like, okay, I'll tell him to drink milk, you know. And so I called him back, and I was like, baby, I was like, do you have any milk at the house? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, go fucking down it. I was like, go fucking down it. Down the whole goddamn thing. And he's like, why? And I said, because it'll dilute the medicine that you've taken. I said, go fucking, you know, drink the milk. I said, call me back whenever you get done or whatever. And we're heading to his house. And we get there, and I mean, he called me like 5 minutes probably, or as we're pulling into the area where he's at. And I'm like, baby, you know, are you okay? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I done threw up. And of course, whenever I seen him, he done puked his guts out, you know. And but he was still drunk as hell. Like, also, he was still, you know. And I remember we sitting outside talking because it was late at night, and he was shivering, and I was like panicking, and I was like, look at me, you know, look at me, because I was worried he was fixing to go into a damn seizure. I didn't know if it's because he was cold or what the damn deal is or what the fuck ever. But then, like, anyways, he acted inappropriate is the best way to word it after a while, and I was just like, you know. And then I was like, okay, well, we're back together, whatever, I guess that's what you wanted, that's what you got, I'll see you tomorrow, you know, type deal, whenever I left. But we stayed there for God, I don't know how long, and my mom stayed out in the car, you know, with the car running, you know, and for the most part, you know, other than cutting it off a few times. But ever since that had happened, because that's right, there at the last, he got into the car with us, and he sat up front with my mom, and I sat in the back, like, and I was leaned forward between the seats talking to him, you know, and she was talking to him. And we was like, what is it? You know, why did you do that? And he's like, well, for starters, he's like, Heather broke up with me and told me, you know, that we wasn't going to be together no more. And he's like, and I couldn't do that. And he's like, and bills and child support and this and that. And he was just, I mean, he was talking to her about the shit that I'm like, dude, why the fuck do you think I date you? I like, seriously, do you think I just dated you to sleep with you? No, I dated you to build a life with you. And you're talking to my mom after you do a suicide attempt, if you will, about your issues. why won't you talk to me about it? And I get that, yeah, I was young, and so I guess you thought I was a dumbass when it come to that or whatever, but you still could have talked to me about it beforehand. So he's sitting there talking to us about it, but mainly my mom, and my mom's like, well, that's life, and this is that, and everything. And so ever since then, I've noticed that he respects her more than he does me. And so one night I get in the damn car after being at his house, and of course I'm all giddy. We had a damn good time, if you will, and you can take what you want from that. But I get in the car, and she's like, did you have sex with him? And I'm like, why does that even matter? Like, you done know I'm sexually active with him. I was like, so why does that even matter? And she's like, I just want to know, did you have sex with him? And I'm like, what the fuck? Why does that even matter? And she's like, I'm just wondering. And I was like, take it how you want. Yeah or no, I don't give a shit. I was like, take whatever you want from it. And she's like, I really want to know, if you're having sex with him. And I was like, why? What does it matter if I had sex with him today versus any other day that I've been over here? And she proceeded to ask me, she said, well, what sexual positions? My own mother, I don't know why, asked me what sexual positions I was in when we were having sex. Like, I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even know what the fuck to say to that. And I remember just being like, what does that even matter? And she's like, I just want to know. And then she changed her tone and she's like, I just want to know. And I was like, well, I don't see why, and I'm not going to tell you. And I just left it at that. And it was a very awkward car ride home and a very awkward night for me because I'm sitting there and I'm like, why the fuck would she ask that? What the fuck is wrong with her? And so sometimes I've wondered if him and her slept together. I have no idea. I mean, you hear about the Jerry Springer shit, where so-and-so slept with this and that, and so I don't know. I have no idea. I ain't never got to the bottom of it, and it's so far gone, I don't even care to get to the bottom of it any damn more. But at the same time, if it did occur for us to have a good relationship with each other, they would both have to fucking admit, But, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm gonna vomit in my mouth. Who should even have to live through that? Who should even have to think that? And who should be put in that damn situation? Damn. Oh my God. Lord help me, Lord forgive me, or what the hell ever. Like, I can't. But, originally while I was shooting this video, I was talking about the guys, over here, and they seem to tend, and I've had quite a few people over the past few years that's like, you should be a counselor for recovering drug addicts. And I'm like, why? I've never done drugs. I can't sympathize that much with them. And they're like, yeah, but you just sympathize so much, like you get down on people's level and stuff, like you're not afraid to talk to them. And they're like, and that'd be a really good job for you. And then I've been told that I should be a public speaker, and then I've been told that I should be a nurse, and then I've been told that I should be a teacher, and then I've been told that I should be a doctor, and I should look into psychology more since I like to study it, to a degree and everything. And I'm just like, man, do you know how poor I am? Do you know what type of lifestyle I come from? Do you know that that's not something that I'm, truly passionate about as much as, I could be, I guess, or whatever, at least at this moment in time. Like, only things that I'm passionate about is, like, in all honesty right now, is trying to get my kid back and trying to talk to EJ. And that's about it. I mean, but I guess I'm going to end this video here because it's coming up on 50 minutes. I don't even know what the hell I'm going to label it other than a continuation. Oh, that's right, because some dude knocked on my damn door, and I guess he was here for my neighbor. I have no idea. I was just like, no. And the thing is my mind went blank beforehand, and I was like, okay, God, maybe that's you saying I shouldn't talk about it or whatever. Like, and if that's the case, like, my intuition just fucking misses that shit and just whoop, right the fuck over it. It's gone. She gone. Ain't coming back, But, I'm gonna end it here. So, if you like my videos, comment, share, like, or subscribe, and I'll catch you later.